No Kroger. Hey, everybody. It's Jacklyn Metcalfe, and we have
Griffin, Sciarra, what's up?
And we are changing things up today. Ray was supposed to be here. Unfortunately, Ray is terrible with a calendar and forgot to write it down. And anyway, so we are going to have, he came, yay me, I get to keep him all to myself for today. But
I'm coming.
Like, really? Damn, I must be good. I even touched you.
You said I came. All right.
All right. So, like every other show,
here.
we start off with 3 random questions, and you can opt out of one, but you have to answer at least 2. So, if you would like to pick a question, read it out loud, and start answering.
All right. What is the longest you have ever been celibate? Well, I was a virgin for 18 years. 18th birthday. Good birthday. That was my first.
Interesting.
It was a fun 14 seconds. That was good. But so that, and then besides that, like, I don't know, like a couple months, like 2 or 3 months. So nothing crazy. Lots of jerking off and stuff. I stay. This has been a fun first 2 minutes. Nice and dirty. I hope my mom doesn't ask to see this. What is the least amount of money you would take to do your current job? I actually have in my notes, every time I make money doing comedy, I'll write it down. It's a very short list, so I'll read it to you right now.
All right.
March 20th, 2019, $10. May 19th, $15. July 26th, $25. So $50 of comedy in 11 months. That is not a good return on your investment.
Yeah, that's totally
I'm not exactly crushing it, but it's anywhere from here is up, I guess, right?
So basically free is the least amount to take.
Yeah, true.
All right.
True. And then there was another one. What do you have the worst reputation for and the best? So I was with this girl. I was using the bathroom, and she was listening outside because I guess that's the thing people do.
Is that really?
I don't know, but she said
people.
She said you flushed before you were done peeing, and I had never noticed that. But I always like play a game with myself. I flush while I'm still peeing. I don't know if it's timing or like an awkward habit, but I do that. And I told my mom about this.
Is that like a guy thing?
I told my mom about this, and she said your dad does the same thing. So.
Okay, really? That guy? So is that like
I don't know if it's a guy
thing, or is it just a you thing?
Maybe it's a family thing. I don't know. But.
So the goal is to try and pee before the water goes.
Well, sometimes it's that. I think sometimes it's like I'm afraid people are listening. Well, she was listening in that case, but.
And why are you standing outside the bathroom listening to anybody? That's just wrong. Call that.
Maybe she wanted it on her little golden.
Oh. Whatever. Well, I wouldn't know all about that. So that was that your worst?
No, that's probably my worst reputation. And best reputation, I don't know. I'm not very awkward. Like around people, I guess I talk to people, and so maybe that's a good thing.
That is true. So you said there was another one you'd be interested in answering. Some of these are double-sided, so we got lucky. Hey, Lucas. Hey, Dee.
Oh, the biggest risk I've ever taken. This is probably a boring one, but probably ever doing stand-up. So I was super scared before. Yeah. I was like sweating, about to throw up. Like.
I actually remember. Yes, I totally understand.
I was about to throw up. It was at Be Here Now. I was like super shaky because I never had any like stage experience ever. I was never like a play douche or anything like that. Like that was the first thing ever because in my whatever small town, like all you could do was sports or nothing or like drugs or whatever. So, but
depends on what kind of drug.
Yeah. But this stage time was like a drug, so that was cool. But But yeah, I mean, and I had an okay first set, at least good enough. I think you trick yourself. Yes,
Thank
Lucas.
You.
All right, cool. He's weird as hell. We pee on each other.
Wow. But, I am learning all kinds of information.
But yeah, I think that first time, I've talked to a lot of people that like thought they did well the first time. I don't think you ever do well the first time, but I think your brain kind of tricks you into thinking you did well just to kind of like keep you going. And maybe I'm still in that stage right now.
I had it recorded, and it was so
awkward. Oh, I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad I can't. My earliest. So I started in August of 18. My earliest like voice memo recording is in November, and I listened to that and I just cringe. I want to jump off a building. So. Ugh.
I'm with you on that. I've gone back and I've watched like even open mics that I've recorded, and it's oh my god, people actually sat through that.
Yeah. It's bad.
Wait, no, Lucas. He said that you two pee on each other. How am I getting dragged into this?
All right, let's
Wow,
get away
there's
from
a-
the piss.
Yeah, let's move that on.
Andrew Sidwell.
Okay, how long have you been
I started in
doing stand-up?
August of 2018, so 11 months right now. It'll about to be a year. So
A year. So what has been your absolute worst experience on stage?
my worst experience, it was my second or third time doing Jokers, and I remember I was writing that day. I was like in the library at school, and I was like, oh my god, I have so many good ideas. I was like writing jokes. I was banging. I felt like a god, right? And I'm like, I'm gonna do all these jokes tonight. So I came to it with 5 minutes of new material that I had never said before, and I was like, I'm just gonna crush. I forgot all of it. I was up there like it was the worst I've ever felt in life. Not the worst I've ever felt in stand-up. Like I'm so red. I'm like freaking like there's stuff coming out of my butt. Like I felt horrible. And I remember just like looking, I think it was Ben Polizzi's face after I got off stage. He's like, it's all right, man. And I was like, I don't think I got on stage for like 3 or 4 days. I went home and I just like took a cold shower, like hunched over, like, oh my God, it was bad.
Terrible. You know what? Same thing with me. First time, totally hated it.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so bad. And I watched
and
the
and
video back.
she eats a lot, so yeah. But no, yeah, that's for.
So so that was your worst. What's been your best time?
My best time?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
stood out?
I think anytime that you can, especially like when you're like me, when you're just like a first timer douche, you've only been doing it a year or whatever. Like
a first timer douche.
A first timer douche. Anytime you can get on stage where there's like people that like paid to have a good time.
Right.
Anytime you can do that, like I did. Alex Eakin, shout out him, super cool guy in Fort Wayne, got me on a guest spot at the Fort Wayne Comedy Club last Saturday.
Awesome.
I mean, I did like 3 minutes, but it's 40 people that paid to be there.
Right.
And it's like, and sometimes like when you're like just bombing at open mics, you forget that you're funny. You know what I mean? It's like you are a funny person.
Comedians are not.
You're writing every day. Like you're getting on stage like 5 or whatever times a week. Like you forget that you are a funny person. And whenever you take all that hard work and squeeze it into like a tight set for people that paid to be there, like you usually do really well.
Right.
So,
No,
so
that's a really, really good question that I had to actually recently come up with. Open mics versus real audiences, because I have made the mistake in the past of writing jokes and I threw them out because nobody had none of the comedians laughed at it.
On the other hand, sometimes you write for the back of the room, you write for the you know what I mean? You're like, oh, this is gonna kill, and it's like, but if it kills in a room full of 10 comics and the 2 people that came to see there that are just like passing through are appalled by it, it's like
that's a good point.
They're the 2 people that you want to, because we're not doing this to kill at open mics. You know what I mean? It's like eventually you want to be on shows with real people and make them laugh. So I think anytime you can get on like a bar show or whatever, like you have to do it, because I think 4 people that came to see the show are better than 15 comics that you know or 20 comics that you know. Just because I think like our job is to make strangers laugh, is to get to know strangers quickly and to make them laugh. So yeah, real audiences are a major key.
They are. I think it makes a difference also in how we deal with. Anyway, okay. So, do you 2 have a set for a gig and have to ditch it when you see the crowd? I actually, yes, have to ditch it once you see the crowd. I had a set list written for. I was on Straight Up Stupid last night, I guess, spot, and I had written out my set, and I had 2 comedians. Well, I had the MC and the first comedian go up, and I'm listening to the crowd, and I'm like, oh shit, the stuff that I'm going to take the stage isn't going to work. So I went, whoop, and I just went up and winged it based on whatever material I had. What about you?
I remember like I did like a more like urban room, and I was like getting in my own head before, and I was like, maybe I'll take out this word because this won't work. Like this will be just as funny without having to say this. But I think that's just like you getting in your own head. Like I think you need to like write good jokes and be confident about it. And obviously there's like you don't want to go into a church and be like, well, like whatever. Right. But it's like I think you need to be confident enough in yourself to where it's like this stuff is going to work. And if it's a clean set, then have your clean set. But but I think if you just like judge a crowd and be like, oh, well, this will offend them and they'll like, this will pander to them. It's like, well, then you're handling them with kid gloves and also pandering, and you're not being authentic. I think you have to be authentic.
So you don't watch the crowds then when you,
well, I mean, I think
before you go on stage?
I mean, you watch the crowds before you go on stage, but I think like if you see like, oh, they didn't laugh at that, or they might laugh at this, like maybe that works. But also if you think like, oh, like that joke is about like Tinder. That joke's about Tinder. That joke's about Tinder. It's like, maybe I won't tell my whatever joke. Or like, maybe that's hacky. Maybe I shouldn't do that. Because it's like, if 4 comics talked about it before, maybe that's a joke you shouldn't have in your set to begin with because it's not original enough, maybe.
That's a good point. I never thought about that one. I remember doing a set at Crackers, and I could tell by the crowd that what I was getting on stage to say was not going to fly because it was an older crowd, but I really needed to work on the material. And I got up there, and the old people did not like my stuff. I was like, I am so sorry, dudes. I just really needed to work through this stuff.
But that depends on like the kind of comic you want to be. Because some people pride themselves on just like finding a way to kill, and it's like, oh, it's this room, I need to do this joke, I need to do that joke. But it's like if you're trying to like craft your act like this, it's you. Like you have to run it through bad crowds and good crowds, and this crowd and old crowds and white crowds and black crowds. Like I think. Like you have to toe that line between being authentic, but also trying to kill that room.
Right.
And easier said than done, just like everything else. But
I'm with you on that. So you have been doing. We recently did a writing workshop together.
Jerry Goebel, great dude,
Jerry,
super funny.
You. Yes.
One of the nicest dudes I've ever met in comedy or whatever.
Okay, so I'm going to read this to you. It's from Lucas. Have you ever written something that you thought was so good, you immediately thought you might have gotten it from somewhere?
I get so scared of that. I'll call my brother and be like, because my brother and I like to listen to the same comics. I'm always afraid that comics that I enjoy, like especially like bigger comics or whatever, I might have like swiped that from them, even just like it got in the back of my head or whatever. Yeah, I'm super scared of that. But also like, and that's why you have to write like unique stuff about. It doesn't have to everything have to be about your life, but like you have to kind of like it has to come from here or whatever. But no, I think about that all the time, and I worry about that, and that's why it's good to test stuff out at open mics, because at an open mic it's not a big deal for someone to be like, hey Lucas, I like that joke, but like I've heard that before, like that's this bit, like go look here, and it's not a big deal because we're friends and we're just trying to we're all just trying to write a good joke, and no one is going to open mics trying to kill with other people's material. So
no,
like,
if you're doing that, that's pretty.
So like but yeah, no, I definitely worry about that. But also, there are very few times when I write something I'm like, this is fucking amazing, because I just like fucking hate myself when I'm writing, and I always have to call my brother and ask if it's good and stuff, because it's like sometimes I think, especially with old jokes, it's too close to you, and it's too like it's a joke you've said 50 times. It's a whatever, like you become too like sensitized to it, and you can't even tell if it's funny anymore.
Right.
And that's why it's great about going back to hanging out or seeing new audiences, like getting in front of crowds that have never seen you before and people that paid to see. Like it's a great reminder of what works and what doesn't.
Right.
But,
so.
And what about you?
What about me?
No,
I'm not worried about that, because everything that I write about is something that
happened to you.
It's happened to me, and then I blow it up.
Right.
I mean, some of it I don't even have to blow up. That's just that bad. But a lot of it, I don't really have a dildo that looks like Barney's dick. Sorry, guys.
She does. She's lying.
No, I threw it to the dogs next door for a cheap like. But have you ever, like, I've written like an entire page joke, like the whole context, it was a story. Have you ever done that only to like cut it and end up with, I don't know, 3 lines?
Something I love to do is like, because we talked about like editing before we got on here, but like I like to not edit myself at all and just like write long form or whatever. It's like I write 2 pages and then you gotta go back and I'll circle like that's good, X out, that's unnecessary, and then I'll get out a yellow legal pad and I'll write every other line. I'll skip lines and then I'll try to edit some more, and then like the next day, like after you tried it on stage and some of it worked but most of it didn't or whatever, like you go back and you think like in those spaces it's like how can I punch this up, how can I make a line funnier here. It's all, I think editing is like so important, because it's like, have you ever written something that was so good you immediately thought you might have gotten it from somewhere else? It's like rarely does that happen. Rarely are you like, this is gold, never have to look at this again. It's like you have to write it out, X out, try it on stage. Mostly it bombs, it kind of works, like whatever. But you just have to keep trying it and keep editing it. And it's like, But yeah, rarely does it work the first time. So like that's why editing is so important.
I would agree. D, would it help if bookers gave stricter guidelines so we can make the non-comedian patrons have a good experience?
I mean, like, very rarely do you see people just like freaking out about something that a comedian said. And if you do, it's usually like
Political
or it's one person. It's like, I don't know, like social media just like amplifies like people's complaints and stuff. And like 2 or 3 tweets can give them a full blown story. And it's like, well, drama at this comedy club. They got mad at this joke. It's like, I don't know. I think like with how like sensitive and stuff, how sensitive the world seems, well, it really isn't. I think all this sensitivity that everybody is talking about is like 10,000 people on Twitter, and the world is so much bigger than that. Like, I think a lot of it is just blown out. It's blown out of proportion. But I don't know. I don't think we need stricter guidelines at all. I think
we shouldn't have any.
And I think as long as it's funny, it's fair game. And I think like
that's one thing I agree with Jerry on.
I think very few people like actually get offended at comedy clubs because there's so much stuff going on in real life to get offended about.
Right.
It's like if your big crusade is like trying to fix a comedy club, then it's like, get the fuck out of my face. Like,
right. I'm gonna have to agree with him on that one.
But I mean, there are also people that like just say some outlandish shit that's insane. But like, I'm not talking about those people. Like,
are you referring to like shock value type material?
I just like there are times when people say unnecessary things, but it's like, but yeah, like what Lucas said, and like no one gets into comedy.
Most of the noise is made on for instance.
No one gets into comedy to like offend people.
No,
they get into politics to do that, but like you know what I mean. But it's like with us, like we're just trying to make people laugh, and it's like, and we all have dark senses of humor because we're just like shitty people mostly. But like, I don't know.
How do you feel about crowd work? That is my favorite, but also seems like the hardest. Jump out the plane and hope the shoot works, kind of thing.
Oh, I think like if someone says something, I have not really done much crowd work. If someone says something, I'll try to say something funny back or put them down quickly so they shut up, because it's like I'm trying to work on something. Like I don't want to talk to you. And also I think like what's troublesome about crowd work is like they can kind of like invite heckling and just like yelling out. And like some comics want that, but some do not. So I think out of respect, a lot of times like if you get into crowd work, especially early on in the show, it can kind of get a show off on the wrong foot. But it just like depends on where you like. If you're hosting like a weekend at a comedy show and you just like do crowd work the whole time, it might kind of set things up poorly. But it's like if you're just like at some bar show and we're all having fun, we're all comics hanging out, like do your crowd work. Who cares? Like we're having fun. Like I don't know. It's not a big thing that I'm into, but that's just because I feel like I'm always trying to write a good joke.
What he means by crowd work, because like. Yeah. My idea of crowd work is I'm engaging. Like I have like spots in my set where I specifically ask questions. And so, I mean, is that what you mean? Or is it just like last night, some guy's cell phone went off in the middle of my set, and you have to address it because,
Yeah. And I think if you go up there like a robot and just like start doing your jokes and you're just like not, and it's almost like some people you see up there, it's like, they would be doing that if the crowd wasn't even there. They'd be saying that. They'd be looking like a robot. And I think you have to show that you're in the room. Like, oh, the ceiling's dumb. Like you have stupid glass. Like whatever you do to show them that you're in the room. But like crowd work, just like, hey, what do you do? And just like and to riff and get 3 minutes off of that. No, like I don't really.
Yeah,
want to
I think
do
it's
that.
just I don't.
And maybe I will once I get better.
Well, and I don't think necessarily need to do crowd work as long as you find that way to engage with the audience, so that you make it personal on their level.
You have to be on your feet enough so that they know that you are in the room. I think, but you don't have to talk to them for 10 minutes by any means.
No,
but like you said, a phone goes off, like you don't just like pretend like it didn't happen.
Yeah, no, you gotta call that one out. All right, let's see what else we got going on. It's never offensive if it gets a laugh. She's back to the
unless Angie's laughing because she is a terrible person.
I know, dude. She's got some good material.
That's a great point.
Okay, so interaction between Bob, Zany did some.
I think he was talking about us doing what we were saying about crowd work.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought it was genius
So-
to talk to audience. And it's a skill because a lot of comics can write a good joke. Like that's what we're doing every day. But yeah, to be able to pull laughter out of just like a situation that's live and happening, and that's why like you do have to show that you're in the room, because like you get rewarded. I think you get rewarded more for crowd work because it's like you're thinking on your feet, you're doing it in the moment right then,
I think that shows
as opposed to a joke you've been working on for 6 months,
Mhm.
6 months that's proven, and it's just like, oh, I did that joke, you gotta laugh, whatever.
So to do it on the fly, I think it gives you that ability to kind of show that you're quick with your.
It's like an inside joke with the audience, because it's like if you saw that a comic was like making fun of that person, it was like on their phone or whatever, and then like then you go up and you say, you know what I mean? It's like, I think crowd work and like and riffing on people's sets and riffing on people that were like made fun of earlier gets a bigger laugh, because it's like I might do a different show next week, but that stuff won't happen.
Right.
Like no matter what, because it's an inside joke with the audience.
That's
It's
a really
intimate,
good way
yeah.
to put that. I like that. Some crowd work is an inside joke. So, all right. We were talking about the editing. What's the worst joke you ever thought was great and turned out it was the worst joke ever?
The worst joke I ever thought. Well, I mean, I told one at Vern's the other night. I told one that it's about like my grandparents. My grandma would always talk about how like her and my grandpa met, and it was like this guy was flirting with her at a bar, getting a little handsy. She was like obviously not into it, and the guy, my grandpa came, like punched the guy in the face, and like they hit it off, and they protected each other. And I was like, that never made sense to me, because if I almost got mauled by a bear, like it slips, it rolls down the hill, I wouldn't get up like, whew, let's go to the zoo. Like, you know what I mean? I got nothing at Vern's. But you see where my thought process is.
I do see where your thought process is.
And like, I'll write, and I'll probably dust it off in a week or so. But yeah, and that's just a recent example. And it got like pitters or whatever. It wasn't like the worst thing ever. But that's just something I can remember. I mean, honestly, every joke I wrote my first 3 months was fucking horrible. Like, because it's just, you're 3 months in, you're terrible. You don't know how to write comedy. I don't know how to now, but like, you definitely don't know how to when you're 3 months in. So,
and
yeah.
I personally am grateful for all the comedians that took the time to hone in and give suggestions, because
it's like we talked about Jerry Goebel. Oh my God,
he's amazing.
Jerry Goebel was great before I took that class. He's great every time I see him. He's super great. Can we joke?
A lot of bad stuff happened this weekend. How can we joke to lighten the mood and help heal our audience?
I think
too soon for some
yeah,
jokes.
he is too soon for.
There are some jokes. It's just too soon.
What? And I think
you've got time.
The problem,
as Lucas says, time tragedy equals a joke.
And just like with right now, it's so soon after, and like it's not even that like you have to make it a good joke, because it's so high stakes and it's so soon. If it's even an okay joke, people will hate you for it.
Right.
So, and it's a tightrope you're walking. And I think that if that's the kind of comic you want to be, then that's the comic you want to be. But also, like, people just sometimes they hear a word and you're done.
Mm-hmm.
If you have to do it without saying the word. Sometimes you have to do it without whatever. But if you say the word shooting in your act tonight, it won't get laughs, because people will shut down, and maybe rightfully so, maybe not rightfully so. But I don't know if it's too soon, but the joke has to be better. Like as time goes off, you'll get away with the worst joke, but right now the joke has to be perfect. And I think most people can't write a perfect joke, so it's like it's not too soon, but it's like, I don't know. Yeah, it's definitely in bad taste.
To engage the audience, to get the positive outcome, probably give it some time. All right. Okay, he makes. Okay, so it says, I make jokes about the bad news because I can't fix anything, but if I can make them laugh, then I take it.
Oh yeah, sure. And it's such a noble. I feel like such a douche talking about this, but like it is a noble thing.
You like that word, don't you?
It's like a fucking tool, but it's a very noble thing to make someone laugh in a time of tragedy. And sometimes people are ready to laugh at the most. I mean, like I've laughed my ass off at funerals with my friends, because it's like there's that tension is there. And that's why sometimes jokes about tragedies do work, is because that tension is there and it's just begging to be released. But you have to shift the right puzzle pieces and tell the right joke for it to work.
People are more open to it, and others are not.
Yeah. And it just, I don't know. People sometimes, if you say something like that at a comedy show, they automatically think that you're just making fun of it. And it's like, no, I was doing this. Like, I was making fun of this, and this was just something I said in the joke. But it's like, sometimes people will shut down, and it's like you've already lost them. Yeah.
Interesting. So, what would be, I don't know, what would be your best advice you would give new comedians? Because we do have a lot of new comedians.
I'm a fucking new comedian, but
I mean, when I'm talking new, I'm talking like 6 months and less. Me new.
I think you have to be absolutely obsessed, and unless like if this is like karaoke to you and you just want to do it like on whatever on a day with the week, that's cool because it's fun and you should do it. But if you want to get better and you want to see progress, you have to be obsessed. You have to be watching comedy all the time, laughing by yourself. You have to get up on stage as many times as you can.
Mm-hmm.
You need to be driving to do open mics, and you also just have to like realize that you are terrible right now and that you will be terrible for a long time. But it's like you will get better and you will see progress. It's like, I don't know. It's like if you decided you wanted to join the NBA when you were 6, it's like 3 years later you'll still only be 9. Like you'll still be terrible. But it's like, but you'll see progress. But yeah, you need to watch comics that you love and turn off comics that you hate, and just keep doing that and just like try to write funny jokes and just, especially I think for me, I needed to prioritize stage time because writing's easy for me and writing's fun. Like it's not easy, but it's like it's fun. It's easy to sit alone in your room in a notebook, but it's hard to drive 30 minutes to an open mic where you don't know anyone and you'll get super nervous.
Right.
But yeah, just get up on stage as much as you can and just like and have fun with it, I guess. I don't know. I mean, you'll feel awful, but you'll feel good, and it's just like you got to keep doing it. So
see, and I'm really big with the record it, because if I hadn't recorded a lot of the sets, I would not have. I used the word actually way too much, apparently way too much, but you don't register that when you're on stage.
Yeah.
And I think watching yourself back helps you be more conscious not to make the same mistakes.
Yeah. Listen to it, and if it's brutal to listen to your own stuff, but listen to it and think like, oh, I said this, I wasn't planning on saying this, but I said that and it got a laugh. Like that's in the joke now. Or it's like that part was so wordy, I went 30 seconds without getting laughter. Like that part's terrible. Like, yeah, listening to it back really helps you. And like you said, it helps get rid of those verbal tics that you don't really realize. And I know when I first started doing comedy, like it would feel like you walk off stage and it feels like you're getting out of a blackout. Like you were so nervous,
right? You
were so robotic, like you couldn't remember one word you said, right. And that's why listening to it is so important.
I would agree with you because I can't, when I'm on stage, I can't hear the audience.
Sure.
I mean, I can hear laughter, but I don't get the full, because I'm so in the zone. I'm focused on what. So does that happen to you? Do you get like tunnel vision?
Yeah, and less now. I can be more like aware now, but yeah, definitely like at the beginning. Like you can't even tell if you're doing well or doing bad, and it's like, and you listen to it back and you thought you did awful, and it's like, oh, I did okay, and then you think you did good, and then you listen to it, and it's awful. Like I remember, I think
every time it sucks. I swear to God, every time I get off, I totally fucked it up.
I was like listening to an old set from November, and I put in parentheses after really good set. Like I was like, this was so good. I listened to it. It was fucking brutal. It was not good at all. It was not good at all. But that's how bad and how tricked I was. You know what I mean at that point. But yeah, you just gotta keep doing it.
So I'm pretty serious about doing comedy, and I agree with you, hitting open mic, as many as you can get in front of.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to take a break at least some points, but I've heard this. There are people that just do it as a hobby, which I'm okay with.
Yeah,
I mean, if it makes you happy. But what do you think? Because I know there are a lot of more seasoned comedians that they have an issue with it. They have an issue with, what are they? The ones that are. What do you think? Do you think that they should be taking up?
Well, I think as long as you're going to an open mic, you have to understand that anyone can go. That someone could walk in off the street and say, "Hey, I want stage time tonight," and they give it to them because it is an open mic. And I just think, like, especially at the beginning, like, you're not above any stage time. If it's an open mic, if it's a karaoke night, if it's like a bar, or if it's 4 of your friends that just say, "Tell me a joke," like you just have to put yourself out there and keep doing it. And I don't know. I'm no one's like judge. I love listening to new comics. I love listening to old comics. But also, like, I don't really care what other like people are saying and are complaining about, because it's like, this is you just have to like worry about yourself. Like you can't like I catch myself all the time like, oh, that person's joke was great, like that person's so much funnier than me. It's like it doesn't matter because they're not like no one is like blocking you from writing a good joke. Like as soon as you realize that the competition is you're the only competition. You're the idiot that watched 2 movies in a row instead of writing. You're the person.
I like this guy, dude.
You're the person that's hanging out with your friends tonight and not getting up. Like that's you. It's not the person that wrote a better joke than you. It's not the comic that you think shouldn't be there or that isn't good. Like it's just you.
Yeah, I've noticed, I've seen that and seen the mentality of, especially a lot of hate towards the newer comedians coming on, and if newer comedians are surpassing ones that have been in the business for whatever, instead of supporting them, they'd much rather knock them down. And it's like, but if they're putting in the work, shouldn't they get it? So
do you both go on stage stone cold sober? Yeah, I do. I'm not 21 yet, and so I like anytime I'm at.
I had no idea.
Anytime I'm at a bar, like doing stand up, I just like stay away from the bar and hope they're not taking IDs, and they usually are. So I like have to drive home and I'm pissed, just fucking screaming in my car, like fucking mad. But I'll be 21 soon, so it's not a big deal. But no, yeah, I always go on stage sober because I like we talked about being I want to be present. You should have told me
that before I gave you that shot.
I want to I want to be present on stage. I want everything to be firing on all cylinders. But that's just and maybe I'll change my mind. I mean, and like when I turn 21, will I have a beer on stage? Like maybe, but like, but do I ever want to go up there drunk? No, like or high? No.
I drink. No, I have taken the stage sober.
Yeah.
And I have noticed watching my sets back, there's a distinct difference. If I go up sober, I look at the ground a lot and I'm not nearly, I don't know, I guess I have severe anxiety. So I usually have 1 or 2 before I hit the stage.
I'm jealous of people that like do well drunk on stage. Like I remember
I
know, but I just mean I was at Kettle Top like just like on a Wednesday open mic or whatever, and it was Zach Garner's birthday. It might have been a Saturday show, but either way, it was Zach Garner's birthday, and he was like he had definitely been drinking because it was his birthday. Like he was hanging out. Zach Garner, super funny. Check him out. He murdered drunk because he was just like he was so loose, and it helped that I think he was doing material that he had done before, so he wasn't like worrying about remembering it. But he dismantled the place. It was the funniest maybe the funniest person I've ever seen.
And we're back.
We're back, baby.
Woo. We had some technical difficulties, which means that somebody in my house is hijacking the internet for gaming, even though they're not supposed to do that on Mondays.
Yeah. Well, our kids, they're the worst.
Yo, I bet you got a whole house full of them, don't you?
Yeah, I'm going in everybody.
So, are you dating?
It's complicated.
It's complicated.
No girlfriend. Nobody's meeting my parents right now. So
okay.
None of that.
So how are you almost 21?
Yeah,
okay.
November.
I'm not even gonna lie. The first time you told me that, I was shocked. I had no idea. I was like, really? How are you getting it? And then I realized, but I know that a lot of comedy clubs are 17?
Yeah, some are 17, some are 18. So
yeah, so. Welcome back. Thank you. Sorry about that, you guys. They're hijacking the internet. So where were we at on that? I forgot what we were talking about.
I don't know. I don't want to repeat anything that they saw, so we can just talk about new shit.
Okay, well, what would you like to talk about? Tell me something that would people be surprised to know about you.
Surprised to know about me.
Right.
I got a very hairy ass. Oh, surprised to know about me. My parents are like super strict, like not super strict, like they're not as bad now, but like in high school I never like drank or did anything like that. Like we go to church like every Sunday when I'm home. When I'm not home, I'm not going. But yeah, so I definitely come from like not a strict, but like a very structured upbringing, I guess is what I would say. But I think the Catholicism and like the strictures of religion kind of squeezes that out. It squeezes you so hard that you kind of jump into comedy or something like that.
Right. Were you raised Catholic?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. No.
Yeah. No. Catholic school for 5 years or till 5th grade. But yeah, never had to be an altar
Catholic boy.
Yeah. So, but I think that squeezes it, and there are so many like funny Jewish comedians and everything like that. I think like the that religion, because you kind of just like
Are
sit.
there any good Catholic comedians?
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people that were raised like not like Jim Gaffigan is Catholic. I know like Mark Norman was raised Catholic.
I was just
Bill
wondering
Burr,
if it, like, squeezed
I think
life out
Bill
of him.
Burr was raised Catholic, like Irish Catholic. But it's just like I think it's just like you kind of sitting around like. I think you develop like as a comedian, you have to have like a BS detector. You're sitting around just like, why the fuck did that person do that? Or like, why you do it? Cause so much of comedy is just like pointing out like those little ironies and like idiosyncracies of like society,
which you can pick apart. I mean, religion's easy.
And I think John Mulaney, that's another good one.
Thank you.
But yeah, I think, and you're sitting around, you're shepherded to school, you're shepherded to church, and you're just like, what the hell?
Fucking cheating.
Yeah, what the hell are we doing here? Like, what are like? This is dumb. That's stupid. He just blew her. Like, whatever. And you're just like, this is very stupid. Like, or this doesn't make sense. Like, but yeah, I think so much of just like growing up is just kind of figuring out like, that's dumb. I guess that's okay. Like stuff like that. But yeah, I think that kind of pushed me towards comedy and just like, yeah.
I guess it's better than drugs and hookers and.
Hey, who said I didn't fuck hookers?
Okay, well, I just kicked him because he's got me all. No, I'm playing.
Got her hot and bothered.
Now I'm feeling like a pedophile. Damn it, motherfucker! Don't do that to me.
She probably doesn't want me to tell you this, but
what?
The first time I saw you at an open mic, oh yeah, we're telling it. You four in for a treat. First time I saw Jacklyn at an open mic, she was very drunk, I guess. She handed me notes and said a note that just said, "Call me, you're cute," or something like that.
Yeah, here's my number. Call me.
Here's my number. Call me. And then I got up and did my set, and I probably did like a young person set, and I talked about like having a girlfriend or whatever. And then she came back and was like, "Girlfriend, darn it!" And I was like, "Oh my God, you're like 35, and I'm a kid."
Wow.
Like
I love him now, dude.
But
35.
But yeah, so that was a super weird first meeting, but we've become best friends. I'm like a son to her now.
Yes. Yeah. No, because that's you do not have sexual conversations with your child like that. No, it's more like nothing.
Do we have a comment?
We're just no. The little bubbles are people like
just shooting off stuff on us.
Exactly. That's how you know
you
that
guys
they're
are
happy.
Bukkakeing us with likes and comments. We love it. We love you guys. So.
Oh my God! But no, I actually don't even. I mean, I remember.
Yeah.
That totally sounds like something I would do, and I mean, I think that was in 1949.
Yep.
And
scarred me for life.
It was maybe my fourth open mic because that was the night that I met so many cool people that night. But yeah, so sorry about that.
It's all right.
Yeah, it had been a rough week.
Hey, it happens.
I was dating at the time. I was dating a Filipino.
Ooh.
Turned out to be a total douchebag.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, douchebag.
Is Pacquiao? Is he a Filipino? Is Manny Pacquiao?
Who?
You don't know the boxer?
I don't watch boxing.
I mean, he fought Floyd Mayweather. Like he's a big deal. All right, never mind.
Sorry, guys. Material.
I thought we were going to talk about
should we stage
boxing.
an intervention? No, I got over my little bleep. Okay, so I read something not too long ago that they did a study on comedians, and apparently, I don't know how scientific this is, but they say that most comedians have a higher, they're more higher IQs because of their ability to decipher. They're more emotionally grounded because of the fact that. What do you think?
I think I have more common sense than most people around me. Not common sense like, well, you shouldn't take that third shot. Not like that.
Right.
But just like, that's dumb. Like what you're doing, like what you're being taught to do is dumb. And just because you do it every day doesn't make it dumb. Like just because you decide, like society decided that you're supposed to do that, like that's still dumb.
Mm-hmm.
I think comedians have that. Like we're pointing out, like I said, we're pointing out those like ironies and idiosyncrasies. I think comedians might not be smarter, like IQ wise, maybe, but we have more common sense and we can point out stuff and we can be more frank about things. And I guess that's why we get into trouble with like dirtier or like more sensitive topics. But it's like, yeah, we're definitely like frank people. I think.
See, now you actually pretty much you impressed me because there's one thing that I'm really big on is you should try to always be accountable for your own actions and whether or not. And typically with people that are so young, they don't have that mindset. It's usually everybody else's fault. So I don't know.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm still dumber than hell. I still make terrible decisions, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've definitely done very dumb things, but I just think like you have to like. I don't know. Ask me something specific.
I don't know. What is the dumbest thing you ever did?
Let's pull something out of here or something.
I guess he doesn't want to answer that.
I don't know if I've done anything specifically dumb. I got pretty drunk and messaged a professor on Facebook that I am going to have to take before I graduate, and I just want to jump off a building. Like it. I mean, it didn't. It didn't. It wasn't like I didn't say anything crude, but it's just like the fact that I DM'd a professor. I just really hate myself.
What? Okay.
She's really pretty. I mean, it's a compliment.
You hit on her.
Yeah. I messaged her and I was like, do we know each other?
So you have like this mommy issue thing going on. No, don't look at me like that.
No, I mean, I like older women are cool. Younger women are cool. I don't know. Well, I mean, it's just like when you're 20, if you like younger women, you're a pedophile. Like, you know what I mean? It's like if you know what, like you only let like 19 or 18-year-old girls. If it's younger, you're messed up. So it's like I feel like when you're 20, you like older girls, and I don't know, girls in their 30s, like that's their prime, right? You're leaving me with a lot of dead air here.
So I'm worried about all that. Okay, I'm not telling anybody. If you don't already know, I'm 29.
Oh, my brother's 26.
Hook me up. No, I'm kidding.
He is hitched.
No, that's okay, dude. The last thing I want to do is
says 40s.
I am 40. Can you believe that, motherfuckers? I am 40.
No, I think she was talking about sexual prime.
Yeah, it is 40s.
Yeah, okay.
It really is. 30s, you're still self-conscious.
Gotcha.
Still. And
cool.
you've had a lot of people have already started having babies. And
right.
There is a time to be sexually prime in your 30s.
Yeah. But no, I mean, I have a good mom. I don't have like mommy issues.
No, I wasn't
but I'm just saying I love an older gal, an older lady, and a younger lady. But I like ladies.
I got nothing.
Do you have a hot grandma? What are we talking here?
No.
Bummer. She's got an ugly grandma.
I do. My bad.
Bummer.
I'll have to work on finding you one. So what? I just had this conversation with a couple of people. I'm just curious what your thoughts are. I found the irony in the fact that we do comedy to make people laugh, but comedians don't fucking laugh. I mean, have you been at these open mics? And it's like they get desensitized. No,
yeah. I mean, I think desensitized is a great word to use, because I think if you watch someone get murdered all the time, like next time you see someone get murdered, you won't freak out about it. And I don't think comics like, and there are some comics that are just like, I know I'm guilty of this. I'm just like, I'm looking at my notes. I'm worried about what's going on next. Like, I need to worry about this tag and that, whatever.
Right.
I think it's 70% that comedians are preoccupied with what they're about to say or what they just said, which is like right or wrong. Like that is how it is. Like that's how I am most of the time. Like I'm worried about like what I have to say next. And I think some of it is just like people are. So I hate it when people are like, I don't laugh easy. Like it's got to be really funny. It's like, well, then you don't like laughing. Then you don't like comedy. You know what I mean? It's
that's
like
a good point. My brother's like that, Billy.
Yeah, it's like.
Sorry, I just totally called my brother.
Maybe you just don't enjoy life as much as us then. Like, like if it's funny, it's funny,
right?
And you should laugh. But yeah, I think we see it every night, and a lot of times, like we're seeing our friends that we see at open mics a lot. We're seeing their jokes for the fourth or fifth. No. That was a special one for you guys. But yeah, I think it's just open mics.
Bless you.
Open mics, there's so many factors to make it not a good place for growth, and not like it's just like they've heard your stuff before. Like it's all comics, it's all whatever. Like it goes back to you got to get on bar shows. You got to do something to get in front of real people.
To be honest, I freaking hate going to open mics the same ones, you see the same people.
Yeah, and that's why.
And doing the same material.
Yeah.
I mean, I intentionally mix my stuff up.
Yeah, that's why it's fun to mix up.
And when I have to repeat a joke, it's like, dude, I'm really sorry for these people who have heard it, because I genuinely feel bad, because I know that if I'm hearing it the 10th time over, I'm not all that impressed.
It's true, but also I think you do have to run it through. Like you have to have like your good jokes have to be practiced, because when you get in front of that paid audience, it's got to be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have to nail it. And I think that's the price that you pay for going to open mics, is that you're going to hear people's same stuff.
No,
but I do think you can't. I think it's very, and I tried to do this my first like month or so in, because I was an idiot and I didn't know what to do. But I try to bring new stuff every time, and it's like, no, you need to like perfect old stuff, and you need to flex that muscle. I mean, and it annoys me, but like even these comics that only have 5 minutes and do the same set every time, they're still flexing that muscle. Like they're still working out, even if, I mean, you still need to be writing, but like they are still getting on stage and doing their time. And like it might become stale, but it's like at least you're getting up on stage and flexing that muscle.
See, now I found that I don't do the verbatim, which I've noticed a lot of comedians, they get their set, they write their order.
Sure.
And I find that it's useful, because I mix things up, that I learn the jokes better, and it helps me, like, for instance, if they say you got to go longer or you need to go shorter, do you have...
No, I never have a set order with stuff. I'm usually, like, sometimes I'll get caught where, like, well, I do this baby joke and this baby joke should come after. Like, sometimes like that.
Right.
But no, I'll try closing with something or opening with something. I think you have to mix it up, because, like, some jokes won't work well after a certain joke, and some jokes have to come before this joke. Like, you can't go, like, this dirty here and then try to hit them with a clean, you know what I mean? You have to piece your set together to where it works best. Definitely, I think you have to try out different orders. Yeah.
I would agree with that one. So, I had a question and it ran right the hell out of my head.
All right, I'll have a question for you.
Go for it.
Who is your favorite comedian to listen to right now? It can be in the indie scene, or it can just be like someone you like to watch on Netflix or like whatever.
Would you believe me if I told you I don't watch comedy?
Why not?
You're
just afraid you're going to take something from someone else?
Not
or
that
what?
It's not. Yeah, I mean, because if I don't have the influence, I can stay true to who I am.
Right.
And I'm not saying, like, I've heard other comedians. It's like I love listening to Lisa Lampanelli and Chelsea Handler, and I mean, but I don't. I'd much rather watch a comedy movie.
Well, okay, yeah. I mean, that's more the same, yeah.
But as far as but Sandra, the co-host, who, by the way, she's working because Amazon, but she's at least perfecting her ass at the moment. But she couldn't be here because I freaking love her jokes. The first time I ever saw her,
she cracks me up.
When I think it was, she has a joke about Jesus that the first time I heard it.
Virgin pussy, I'll be right down.
Yeah.
That's a great joke. She's very funny, and I love that she can be so intense and just like, it can sound like a rant, but also be great jokes. She said something else that was really funny.
I love the Candy Crush one that she does.
She said everybody, that she was talking about like Ted Bundy. She said everybody knows bitches can bite through masking tape. Right. That's a phenomenal line, and it's just like, that's how you know someone is totally being specific and authentic and detail. It's like nowhere else in any open mic in the country would you hear the line, everyone knows bitches can bite through masking tape, because it's just like a funny, unique like thing.
I wouldn't have thought.
She had an idea in her head that she thought was funny, and she just like kept going until it was specific and really funny. Like, but yeah, Sandra's a good one.
Yeah, I freaking love her writing because she's so off the wall creative.
I really like. Never mind, I forgot what I was going to say. Go ahead.
No, go. Who's yours? Since you put me on the spot.
Oh, well, just someone else. I like to listen to Hannah Rushline. I think she's super funny. You can just like hear the writing in her. Like, she perfectly words stuff, like talking about like half ranch or half whatever. Like the stuff I'm trying to think of one. Funny. But her lines are just so specific. It's like she was back there just before she went up there. Like, because it's like, I feel like even when I hear her do the same stuff, it's still different. Like you said, it's still tinkered. but yeah, it's just like every word. And I talked about this with her one time. She's like I think she was English literature or whatever in college.
Okay.
But yeah, every word is doing a job whenever she says something, and it's very funny, and it shows with laughter and all that. So
who's been the biggest influence?
My biggest influence, well, it goes in waves, probably.
Okay.
I know, like, my biggest influence, I love, like, joke guys. I love guys that you can tell that they're, like, writing or whatever and stuff like that. And I say guys, I like a lot of female comics, but I just think, like, I'm a guy's perspective usually, like, is what fits with me or whatever. But I like, I like Sam Morril, Mark Norman. I liked Jimmy Carr and Anthony Jeselnik when I first started. I still like them, but I just, like, I don't draw from them as much anymore. I think Gary Goldman is amazing. And, like, you can't rip Gary Goldman because he's, like, so good and so perfect and so unique.
Right.
If you haven't heard him, listen to him. But I'll like look at his tips on Twitter and stuff all the time. But yeah.
Did you say you look at his tits?
His
on Twitter?
tips, his comedian
TIP,
tips. Look
not
at him.
TIT.
His
All
grown
right.
man writing tips. Check him out. Very funny.
Okay, yes. Okay, yes, I'm familiar with him.
Yeah.
Yes. So,
Genius.
you cannot have my unicorn.
I
Quit
want it.
trying to sneak him over there.
This looks like it would go up my ass perfectly. Just this little.
Oh, so you're into that pegging thing, huh?
Yeah. No. Indiana Fever, huh? My friend
that
had,
was a gift.
My friend had Indiana Fever season tickets a couple of years ago.
Yeah?
Yeah, he hated them because he got them when his dad got them for him, and his dad would always drive him up there.
And he hated
and
it?
he didn't want to go because it's an hour drive from our place. He's like, it's a
Oh.
Wednesday night. I'm going to a fucking Fever game, and it's like, whatever. I think it'd be cool. I would always want to go, but I love a good sports game. So
A good sports game. He likes a good sports
bad
game.
ones are bad, but good ones are good.
What kind of music you into?
Music, I don't. It's boring. I don't listen to a lot of music. I listen to music the way people listen to comedy.
Really?
Or I listen to comedy the way people listen to music. You know what I mean? It's like, I remember when I first started doing comedy, I'd like have my freaking douchey ass like wireless beats. Like I'd be in the Ball State gym working out, and then I'd start fucking laughing like a maniac because it's like I'm listening to comedy, and people would look at me like I'm some asshole, like, oh, you don't think my squat form is funny, like or whatever, and you feel like such a dick. But yeah, I would listen to comedy in the gym on the way to fucking class or whatever, and on the way up here.
I'm more of a music person.
Yeah, I don't listen to. I mean, I do listen to some music, but it's very just like
Now,
random.
I do have it. There is some comedy. I just popped in my head. You were talking about that. Back when my husband was alive, I used to lay in bed. He would always fall asleep before me because he worked fucking forever. So I would watch like on my phone or on the TV. Whose line is it anyway? Yeah, I was banned from doing that in bed because I would bust
Start
out laughing
yeah.
and then I'd wake him up and I'd try to be quiet and then I'd bust out again. It's like, I'm not allowed to watch that anymore.
Yeah.
So I would say I love the improv stuff.
Yeah, I've never really watched that. Sorry. I remember what was like when you were a kid. What was like the funniest thing ever to you? Like what movies? What like shows? Like
I think the Minions did not exist.
what?
The Minions did not exist. I think it was like Alf or the. Come on, we had the Roofie Master Cosby Show going on there. So you know you had that. God dang, you're just making me feel old right now.
Yeah. I know. I thought the live action Cat in the Hat. We had that on DVD. That was the funniest thing ever to me. The live action Cat in the Hat was cool because there's like some like dirty because they always slide in some subliminal dirty stuff for the parents.
Thank you, people, for doing that for us adults.
That was so funny. But yeah, I just remember like I watched like the other guys with my friends and when I was younger and just like other stuff like that. Like, yeah, funny. Anything that was like naughty or funny or whatever. But I never really watched stand up. Like I think my introduction to stand up was just being a kid. And we would watch Tosh.0, and that was like a version of stand-up.
So did you guys not like do the Saturday Night Live?
No,
because that was huge. Or in Living Color.
I've never watched Saturday Night Live.
Really?
I've watched. My friends have shown me clips, but it's like I don't know. I just like have never like been compelled to watch it. I guess I've seen like clips of stuff, but I've never like been like Saturday. I'm gonna record it.
So
I started recording.
More cowbell means nothing.
I started recording this week at the Comedy Cellar on Comedy Central. They just play like their best bits from the night. It's just like a 30-minute show of like clips of comedians. It's really funny, and it's a cool way of hearing comics that you wouldn't like hear.
Right.
That wouldn't usually get like a TV credit, but it's just like them for 10 seconds, like a funny joke or whatever.
That's kind of cool.
This week at the Comedy Cellar.
Okay. That's probably true, Lucas.
Yeah, I'm a young man.
That SNL. Okay, so we are coming down to like the last, 4 minutes or so.
Sure.
And so I got to do some plugs. Do you have any plugs? Do you have any shows?
I have a butt plug in the car, actually.
Did you steal Lucy?
She's got an actual butt plug.
If you've not seen her, I almost took somebody out with it.
What you said? Do I have plugging?
Any shows coming up?
This
or
Saturday.
Where can we find you?
This Saturday at 1 p.m. I'll be at this I don't know the name of it. It's a music festival in Muncie at 1 p.m. I'm doing some time with Devon Shoemaker. Calvin Turner got me on. Thank you, Calvin. And Brody Miller. Sorry, I almost forgot your last name. I was thinking of Brody Stevens. He's dead. Rest in peace. But yeah, and Brody Miller, my Muncie crew. Me and my Muncie crew will be hooking back up this Saturday. I'm at the Waukegan Comedy Festival the 20th of September. It's a long way away, but get your tickets, I guess. I'm trying to think of what else. I mean, I do open mics all the time. I'm not good at comedy. I don't have that many actual shows. So, but yeah.
So when is the next Chippendale show?
What's Chippendale show?
The one you're starring in.
What?
That's what the text message was. I was supposed to ask you about your appearance on the Chippendales.
Who said that?
I don't have to tell you. I'm the one asking questions.
I'm lost.
I'm playing.
Oh.
All right. So we have a new open mic. You've actually been to it. I have been to it. We went to the first one at Icon Lounge.
Oh, Icon Lounge. Fun.
Did you? I really liked that.
I had a lot of fun. Yeah.
It was a really good thing. Amber James is the person, if you're interested, to you can Facebook Messenger, and it's AMBUR. James is common spelling. Or you can get a hold of her on Instagram at comedy_Bay1, BAE1. So I told them that I would do, you need one of these. Can you see? It's going to be backwards. But got one of these little tickets. If you don't have one, let me know. I think I have a few. Anyway, we are going to peace out. I believe Lisa Wood is on the show next week. I want to confirm that because that would be terrible if I got the wrong person. Because, it's bad enough when people forget to show up. Lisa Wood, she's an out-of-town. No. Rob Wolfong is going to be here next week. I'm super excited about that. You guys want to tune in for him because he's like the one-liner god. This guy cracks me up. Have you seen him?
This ponytail?
No. Rob Wolfong. Oh, you got to tune in. He is so freaking funny. Anyway, so we are going to tell you guys to, I don't know, get out and fucking do something. Get away from your computers. And we're going to sign off. Talk to you later. Peace out.